Right now at 5, Oakland needs a new police chief as the latest top cop steps down. We ask who can lead the charge alongside the new mayor.
You need a person who is on the same page with her, that appreciates what she would like to get done in terms of the community itself.
San Francisco Fleet Week is on even during the government shutdown, who you can still see over our skies and on our waters. His mission is to fuel the mission, hosting events and boosting businesses.
It's all about community. It's about people coming together, supporting with real dollars, coming back to their community.
Meet a community organizer fighting to help everyone stay afloat. She empowers girls to become women who lead.
I want them to know that they are bossy on the playground, in the classroom, and at home.
On and off the field, how Dr. Dana is showing them bossy can be beautiful.
CBS News Bay Area Evening Edition with Ryan Yamamoto.
We begin in Oakland with a stunning resignation of the police chief. It comes as the mayor is touting significant progress in reducing crime. And today, the city announced that Chief Floyd Mitchell will leave the department in early December. Continues a decade of instability at that position. Amanda Harry on how this latest setback could impact the community.
We're hearing from a lot of people about Oakland Police Chief Floyd Mitchell. And while many people had positive things to say about him, none were surprised that he's stepping down. And some are hoping it will force the city to take a closer look at why.
I want to thank you for welcoming me into your city. I can't wait to make Oakland my home and get to work as your police chief. Thank you.
Less than a year and a half after being sworn in as Oakland Police Chief, Floyd Mitchell is stepping down.
Again and again, we continue to recruit talented people in this city, and we can't seem to retain them.
Oakland Police Officers Association President Wee Win has been a part of the department for more than 2 decades. He knows the important work they do, but says it's challenging when they have a revolving door of leaders.
26 years, 15 police chiefs have taken the helm, and it's very difficult that sometimes we need to evaluate, is it us or is it them?
And he's calling on the city to take a closer look at what's happening from the top down to the bottom, because he says they're losing people every day.
Every single rank in this organization continue to leave every month at a very troubling numbers. Not only just police officers, but you have supervisor, commanders, and now chief of police. And I think that I challenge the mayor and the council to create a plan to retain the talent.
While the reason Mitchell resigned is unclear, Wynn believes it's the challenging working conditions. But civil rights attorney John Burris has a different take. He thinks it has to do with the leadership at the top.
One can understand and appreciate that, he was appointed by the previous mayor and that a new mayor would want their own police chief.
Mitchell came to Oakland from Lubbock, Texas. Burris feels he may not have been prepared for the differences between the cities.
You got to deal with the monitor, you got to deal with the courts, you got to deal with the police commission, aside from the mayor and the city manager and the community itself. So there are a lot of different dimensions to the job I thought that he was not necessarily ready for when he took the job.
The Oakland Police Department has been under federal monitoring since 2003, primarily due to unresolved issues with quality of policing and consistency of internal affairs investigations. Burris believes they can soon exit monitorship, but the department needs to stay on the path it's on.
We made a lot of reforms here, and it's taken a long time to get them implemented. We don't want someone to come in with a brand new idea about things and tear it all down. So whoever comes in has to appreciate that a lot of work has been done, and we want to build on that work.
But Wynn has a different take and is looking for more change.
That there's a different directions that the city can be led to making a better working environment for our workforce.
I asked a few people when Mitchell handed in his resignation. They said they couldn't tell me if it was this morning or days ago.
That was Amanda Harry reporting, and the chief resigning comes at a time when Oakland's reporting a significant drop in crime. According to the latest crime data, overall crime is down by nearly 30% compared to this time last year. Violent crime is down 25%. And in a statement, Mayor Lee said, quote, "I am grateful for Chief Mitchell's collaboration with our administration and his focus on community-centered policing. The women and men of the Oakland Police Department have my full support as we work together to ensure a smooth transition and continue building on the progress we have made for Oakland's residents." Okay, now to a developing story, a disturbing discovery inside a San Francisco home. Police say 4 people were found dead. This happened during a welfare check. And over here, you can see there's yellow tape around that house as officers outside are investigating. This happened on Monterey Boulevard in the Westwood Highlands neighborhood. That's not too far from City College. Police say they were called just after 1 this afternoon for a welfare check. A man had called police saying he was unable to reach his brother's family. Police say when they entered the home, they found 4 bodies.
The evidence is pointing toward a criminal case. This appears to be a criminal action. We're not specifying any details regarding those criminal actions. Right now, there is no general threat to the public, and this appears to be an isolated incident.
Police have not released the names of the victim. They are working closely with the San Francisco Medical Examiner. Breaking news out of the Middle East. The White House says Hamas and Israeli officials have agreed to the first phase of the president's peace plan. President Trump saying on social media all remaining Israeli hostages still held by Hamas will be released, quote, very soon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also posted, "With God's help, we will bring them all home." The Associated Press reporting that Hamas leadership has also agreed to the deal and that all 20 living hostages would be released this weekend. At the same time, Israel will begin withdrawing its troops from the majority of Gaza. It's a major milestone in this conflict that began 2 years ago with the October 7th attacks on Israel. More on this coming up on the CBS Evening News. And the government shutdown may be happening here, but San Francisco Fleet Week is also pushing forward. Our Ann Makovic has on more what we can expect. It's here.
Yes, like it or not, it's a more chill version of the Fleet Week that we're used to. And we just had a new arrival this afternoon. Check them out. These are the Canadian Forces Snowbirds, and they flew into town just a couple of hours ago. The military aerobatics team flies 9 turbojets during their performances. And in some formations, they're less than 6 feet apart. The Snowbirds will be flying in the air show all weekend. You can catch them Friday right here on KPIX. Our live coverage starts at 2 p.m. And check this out. It is the Ark Gloria, the flagship of the Colombian Navy. It sailed today into the bay under the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see the sailors saluting San Francisco. Right now it is anchored in Alameda, but tomorrow it's going to pull into Pier 15 near the Exploratorium, and then it's going to be open for tours Friday through Monday. With the government shutdown, we can confirm there is not going to be a parade of ships on Friday, and the Navy ships that were scheduled to come for Fleet Week are not going to be here. As for the Blue Angels, well, their fate is still technically up in the air. There is a slim possibility they could perform. So we are on it. We're going to let you know as soon as we get word from the Fleet Week organizers. Ryan.
All right, thanks, Ann. Well, exactly 9 months ago, the Palisades fire tore through neighborhoods, becoming one of the most destructive wildfires in Los Angeles history. A suspect has now been arrested for sparking that fire today, and prosecutors laid out their case, including the images they say the suspect made on ChatGPT. Reporter Jasmine Viel has the details from Los Angeles.
Evil people do evil things.
Strong words Wednesday from federal investigators announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht, who is accused of starting the Lockman fire in Pacific Palisades on January 1st.
And he went up to this hilltop around 12:12 a.m. He ignited a fire.
That small blaze was put out by firefighters, but they say days later it reignited into the devastating Palisades fire.
Heavy winds caused this underground fire to surface and spread above ground, causing what became known as the Palisades Fire, one of the most destructive wildfires in Los Angeles city history.
Within 24 hours, the city had called in help from the feds to investigate. Within weeks, they were interviewing Rinderknecht. And on January 24th, the criminal complaint says investigators noticed that Rinderknecht's carotid artery would pulsate and become visible whenever they asked Rinderknecht a question about how the fire started or who started it.
This fire was detected almost right away by those sensors. So there's no indication of fireworks or other things that would have started this. He was the only person there.
They allege Rinderknecht had finished his shift as an Uber driver that night and made his way to the Temescal Ridge Trail and a clearing known as the Hidden Buddha. That's where they say he used a lighter to start the fire about 30 feet south. They say he tried to call 911 several times and eventually got through to report a fire, but he didn't leave.
As soon as he saw the fire trucks were headed to the location, he turned around and went back up there. And he took some video and watched them fight the fire.
According to the criminal complaint, video footage shows Rinderknecht parked here at this trailhead at 11:38 p.m. It says that he was very familiar with this area as he had hiked the Temescal Ridge Trail many times. He had previously lived in a house just about a block away. Those homes are now all burned. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley says Rinderknecht had been listening to a French rap song about despair and bitterness and created this image on ChatGPT.
Appears to show a dystopian city being burnt down.
Puts a whole different understanding on really what caused us.
Resident Andrew Hires and Larry Vane, the Pally Strong executive director, went to see the fire's origin Wednesday after news of the arrest.
There's both a sense of anger that actually somebody came up with malicious intent.
But they say this isn't closure.
We lost our homes, we lost our friends, and there's still a lot of questions though. There's, without a doubt, there will still be controversy as this is just January 1.
Shame that they weren't able to get it under control or stop it before it got started.
And Rinderknecht was formally charged today, will appear back in federal court tomorrow morning. If found guilty, he could face up to 20 years in prison. And 8 years ago today, the Tubbs fire ignited in Calistoga and quickly spread through Napa and Sonoma County. It became one of the most destructive fires in the state of California, burning nearly 37,000 acres, destroying more than 5,600 buildings and killing 22 people. The fire was caused by private electrical equipment. PG&E was not found responsible. However, a portion of their $13 billion settlement for other wildfires did go to help victims of the Tubbs fire. Still ahead at 5, incredible video showing the moments when witnesses jumped in to help after a helicopter crashed onto Highway 50. We're going to hear from one of them.
As soon as I did that, I'm like, well, I hope it doesn't blow up, and I hope, he's going to be okay, but this is the right thing to do.
Plus, how a unique partnership is helping bring clean energy to the South Bay while powering the financial future of Caltrain.
The start of something bigger, where every electric vehicle, train, and bus can be part of California's renewable energy future.
And a large storm system swirling in the northern Pacific will be impacting us and bring multiple chances for rain through the late week and next week. I'll break down everything that you need to know coming up in my full forecast.
Well, new video showing the moment a group of bystanders rushed in to help after a helicopter crashed in Sacramento. They worked to free crew members who were trapped when that medevac chopper went down. Witnesses say they could hardly believe what they were seeing. The helicopter went down during the Monday evening rush hour, crashing in the eastbound lanes of Highway 50. But after that moment of disbelief, dozens of people quickly rushed in, saying afterwards that it was pure instinct to jump in and help until first responders could arrive.
Just ran up to the helicopter, grabbed a piece of the tail section there where there was a space, and when they started to tell us to lift, we started lifting it up.
We wouldn't know if it was going to, explode or if the fire was going to start or something, but that just made it where it was important to get them out of there as soon as possible in case it did.
Investigators say the chopper had just landed at the UC Davis Medical Center, was heading back to Redding. There were no patients on board at the time of the crash, but the crew, including the pilot, a nurse, and paramedic, remain in critical condition. Back here in the Bay Area, there's a new benefit to Caltrain's all-electric fleet. Those trains running up and down the peninsula are now doing just more than carrying passengers. Brad Hamilton is live in San Jose with the Caltrain, how it's giving back to the grid. Hey, Brad.
Good evening, Ryan. Yes, over the past year, Caltrain's electric fleet has been really, with each stop, they've been saving energy and giving it back to the South Bay area community. But now, for the first time, all of that stopping and saving is finally paying off. On the surface, it looks like just another train. But inside each of Caltrain's 37 electric trains, something revolutionary is happening. When these trains slow down, they don't just brake, they breathe energy back into the grid. And starting today, Caltrain will start getting paid for the power it sends back.
We are here to celebrate an amazing partnership that will support both transit and clean energy in our community.
The technology behind it is called regenerative braking. Each time a train slows down, about 23% of that energy is fed right back into the system. For the past year, that power went back into the grid for free. State Assembly member Diane Pappin, who represents District 21, pushed to change that.
Caltrain was sending clean, renewable energy back to the grid, but it wasn't getting credit for it. If this were a rooftop solar situation, we would certainly be getting the credit for what we sent back to the grid.
Her bill to make that law statewide didn't pass, but Caltrain negotiated its own deal, a first of its kind in California. Those agreements came through partnerships with Peninsula Clean Energy and San Jose Clean Energy, the agencies that power the train system.
Our partnership is delivering exactly what the public expects: cleaner air, smarter policy, and a stronger local grid.
From diesel smoke to silent speed, Caltrain says the move to electric cuts about 250,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas every year. That's the equivalent of taking 55,000 cars off the road. And now, every break, every stop helps power something else. San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan calls it the kind of local innovation that could reshape public transit statewide.
This is a smart, practical climate action, and it shouldn't stop here. We need this approach statewide so that every community can make transit cleaner and more self-sustaining.
So the next time that you hear those brakes, that sound just might be the future powering the Bay. Yeah, and again, Caltrain officials believe that because of these changes, they're going to actually save millions of dollars in energy costs each year. And every official that spoke at this thing said the same thing. This is not just an example for the area, but really transit across the country.
All right, Brad Hamilton reporting live in San Jose. Okay, let's check in with Zoe with a look at weather.
Well, it has been a lot of changes today, especially compared to just 24 hours ago. If you live inland, you noticed the chill in the air, the onshore winds, the cloud coverage. All of that has kept our temperatures well below what we felt yesterday at this time, especially across our inland areas. Right now, we're sitting in the low 70s to upper 60s. And again, just 24 hours ago, look at how much colder it is. From Morgan Hill, 16 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. Livermore, 18 degrees cooler. Fairfield and Concord, 21 degrees cooler. Same with Santa Rosa up to our north. So inland areas well cooler than yesterday, while the coast from Half Moon Bay and a little bit farther south, maybe even places like Santa Cruz and Monterey, you're seeing temperatures 2 to 4 degrees warmer than yesterday. So it all depends on where you live, how much of that cool down you felt today, but everybody is going to continue to see well below average temperatures through the end of the week and into the weekend. But the cloud coverage is only going to be an issue through Friday, as we're looking at a storm system that will be impacting us. But all eyes right now are on Priscilla, that tropical system that's actually swirling down in the Pacific. That storm system has maximum winds of 70 miles an hour. If you remember yesterday, they were up to 110. So that storm system is actually weakening as it pushes farther north. So for us, it's really not going to be that impactful. What it is going to be impactful is this storm system that's currently swirling just off the coast of Canada. It's going to continue to push down south, impacting us across the Bay Area early tomorrow morning, and then another system that will impact us late Friday afternoon and evening. How much rain can we see through the end of the week, though? It's really not going to be a whole lot. Most of us, especially if you live farther south, not going to be seeing anything. It's only our North Bay communities that are going to be seeing anywhere from a trace to maybe a quarter of an inch through the end of the week. So it's not really impactful rainfall through this week. It's not until next week that we are expecting the even more widespread rain to arrive. So this weekend, you should be good to go. No weather issues to worry about. But Monday and into Tuesday, Tuesday, an even more impactful storm system has the potential to bring upwards of an inch of rainfall across parts of the Bay Area. And this is going to be widespread rainfall that from our South Bay all the way to the North Bay is likely going to be seeing. So Monday and Tuesday of next week, this will be your better potential of actually picking up that more impactful rainfall. Let's break down the details on the timing, though, of what we can expect over the next couple of days. So because overnight tonight and waking up early tomorrow morning, our North Bay communities again are going to be seeing a few isolated little sprinkles. Maybe up to a quarter of an inch of rain will be the totals. But as you can see, that system is not going to be impacting most of us, quickly fizzling out later tomorrow afternoon and evening. And although there is the potential for an isolated sprinkle on Friday as well, a lot of our models are continuing to kind of dry out, back down, and most of the rain is going to be well off to our north. By the time that we step out into later this week, though, again, anywhere from trace amounts of rainfall from our North Bay down to our coastal communities to nothing the farther inland that you go. So again, inland areas really not expecting all too much, and even our coastal communities, what we do see, it's only going to be a couple of hundredths of an inch. Those temperatures are going to stay below normal through tomorrow. These are our highs tomorrow in the 70s across our inland communities, 60s directly along the coast. And it's going to continue to stay very similar through the end of the week and into the weekend. The good news about the weekend, though, like I said, you shouldn't have any weather issues to worry about. It should be drying out, a lot of sunshine, not necessarily warming up, though, before that stronger storm system heads our way and brings more widespread activity in inland areas. Those highs returning to the 60s with the potential for upwards of a quarter of an inch to an inch of rainfall across the entirety of the Bay Area. Again, that will be next week starting on Monday. So up until then, enjoy the peaks of sunshine that you do see with a few sprinkles in between. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, thanks, Zoe. Well, one of the frontrunners to become California's next governor under fire tonight, still ahead at 5. Why her sit down with CBS California's Julie Watts now sparking nationwide discussion.
Girls who play sports become women who lead. The San Jose-based program that's creating the next generation of women leaders coming up.
Play, lead, succeed. It's not just a catchy phrase. It is happening for Bay Area girls on sports fields and beyond, with a pediatrician helping lead the way. Sharon Chen introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
Dr. Dana Weintraub says 94% of women in executive roles played sports during their youth, according to an Ernst & Young study. So she's making sure girls don't get left on the sidelines.
Dr. Dana Weintraub played soccer and other sports growing up.
Learning the leadership lessons, teamwork, resilience, the confidence that I gained from participation in sports, all of these fed into who I became.
And that's why Dr. Dana works to give girls an equal chance to play. The pediatrician heads up the Bay Area Women's Sports Initiative, also known as Bossy.
I want them to know that they are bossy on the playground, in the classroom, and at home.
The San Jose nonprofit connects 2nd to 12th grade girls from under-resourced communities to women athletes for play and leadership development. It also leads activities for girls and boys living with disabilities. Bossy was founded 20 years ago by soccer stars Brandy Chastain and Julie Foudy and executive Marlene Bjarnsrud after the Women's United Soccer Association folded. 5 years ago, Dr. Dana took the ball as CEO, and since then, Bossy has expanded, adding middle and high school leadership programs that include career days and visits to universities and businesses. Enrollment's grown nearly 50% to 1,400 children at about 24 schools. Aria DeZacco could not wait to be old enough to join Bossy's after-school program at Blackford Elementary School in San Jose.
I waited the whole year and then I got to go. I'm a 2nd grader now. It's just amazing to me. I love it.
Students are building confidence while having fun, like Nadine Nappy.
It makes me want to try different sports and learn on different sports and never give up.
There's a lot to feel good about. Dr. Dana led a survey of alumni that found more than 90% of Bossy girls graduated from high school, and most continued to college and kept playing sports.
we would hear the same words come from our alumni about empowerment, role models, strong women. The first time they had the opportunity to see strong women leaders who looked like them.
We are going to be distributing them.
And while Dr. Dana credits Bossy's team of paid and volunteer coaches for its success, one of its program directors, Kimberly Ramirez, says the inspiration flows from the top.
I guess what we were talking about, like that bossy magic that she brings to everyone, making people feel seen, so listening to them, and also inviting them out to wherever she's a part of.
If they can see her, they can be her. And our bossy girls can definitely see her today in the Bay.
3, 2, 1. So for her leadership in expanding Bossy for the next generation, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Dr. Dana Weintraub.
Dr. Dana worked as a pediatrician at Stanford Medicine Children's Health for more than 20 years before becoming Bossy's CEO full-time over a year ago. She's on the board of the U.S. Soccer Foundation and also founded the Peninsula Family Advocacy Program that helps low-income families with medical and legal concerns. She's got quite the resume, a lot more.
And doing a lot for little girls out there.
Yes, bossy.
All right, thanks, Sharon. Well, you can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award at kpix.com/icon. Up next at 5, one of the leading candidates to becoming California's next governor, well, taking some heat tonight. Why her conversation with CBS California's Julie Watts is getting so much attention.
I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Let's meet the people urging people to boycott Airbnb.
The city needs to hold corporations like these accountable, and so that the city can meet the needs of its own people.
Why they blame the company for California's housing crisis. Plus, the Niners finally getting some good news on the injury front. The key contributor making his big return.
Redistricting. What do you think of the
Right now at 5:30, a top contender to become California's next governor, now facing calls to drop out of the race after an interview with CBS News California. It came when former Representative Katie Porter sat down with CBS California investigative correspondent Julie Watts to discuss a number of topics, including Proposition 50, the redistricting ballot measure. Julie is talking to all the candidates for governor to get their thoughts on some of the biggest issues. We will talk about Julie and her conversation with Porter in just a moment. But first, let's hear from the candidates.
I just sat down with my 12-year-old daughter and explained redistricting.
Yes.
California voted for an independent commission.
Yes, we did.
And now our governor and our legislature are redrawing the lines so that they get to pick who goes to D.C. People who live in what is now a red county, when they vote for a Republican, that Republican goes to Congress. And now these people in power in California are going to take that vote away from those people. What do you say to that 12-year-old who says, did two wrongs make a right?
What I would tell her is take a look at what happens in Washington, D.C. You have a finite number of votes. Right now you have a nearly equal number of Republicans and Democrats. Donald Trump is afraid he's going to lose his slim majority of Republicans come 2026 elections.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to rig the process to give himself more Republicans.
It's not two wrongs. This is different. What Texas is doing is acting out of the course of the census, not following new census data. They are not doing this after the census. They're not doing this through the normal course. They are doing this
because we're not doing it after the census either, right? We're mid-census term.
They're doing it because Donald Trump instructed them to do it. And who's doing it in Texas? Who's making the decision? The legislature.
Texas didn't change its constitution to take the power to draw the maps out of the hands of the politicians, put it in the hands of the people, which we did here. The rules are that you draw the maps straight after the federal census every 10 years. By drawing these maps in the middle, they don't know who lives where. Millions of people have left California. In Los Angeles, whole communities have burnt down. Who knows who lives where?
The Democrats, they want to consolidate power. And under the guise of fighting back against the Republicans and fighting back against Trump, you are handing them more power. Well, what have they done to earn it? Are y'all feeling that this has been a state that has been well run and for your best interest? So you're going to essentially hand them the keys to make sure that they own every district in the state?
It's let me
tell you how broken something is by telling you I'm going to break it more.
My wife she doesn't like it. She doesn't support it. She thinks that districts should be drawn by independent redistricting commissions and that it is wrong for the state to be putting its finger on the scale. And for me, if we're going to have hope of any type of leverage during Donald Trump's presidency, it would be really helpful if Democrats controlled Congress. But again, this really illustrates a lot of the frustration that I have with not just my party, but politics in general, is that this is all in response to something that Donald Trump said. That is a great opportunity to rally the troops and introduce legislation in Congress and put them on the spot and make them say that we should continue to gerrymander across this country. I think that would have been more strategic, but here we are, we're left with this decision. And in my own family, day comes up, we vote.
Well, part of Julie's interview with former Representative Katie Porter now getting nationwide attention after the candidates' full interviews were posted online. You may have seen a clip on social media.
The question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Well, Julie now joins us live from Los Angeles tonight to give us a little more context on their conversation. So, Julie, what exactly happened there?
Well, I mean, you can see the full thing online and you see, the bulk of it right there. We asked all 12 candidates the same questions, and Ms. Porter didn't want to answer that one. But yeah, it's important to note that this is just a small segment of a much larger project where we did ask questions on a variety of topics to really push beyond the campaign talking points and get candid and honest responses. And then we are rolling out these topic-specific issues like you just saw there, longer segments. And there's a 30-minute segment online where the candidates answer all of these questions. This is a 3-minute piece that was excerpted, that somebody excerpted from that longer piece, put it on social media, and it immediately went viral overnight. But I think it is important to point out that Ms. Porter did stay, and she did continue the interview after that interaction. I think it's also important to note that we are hearing from candidates. We are hearing from a lot of folks, leaders in the Democratic Party, and people are voicing concerns publicly following that. In fact, some of the candidates, including former State Controller Betty Yee, the only other high-profile woman in the race, they're calling for Katie Porter to drop out.
All right, Julie Watts joining us live from Los Angeles. Well, you can also find out much more on the candidates and their stances on this important issues on KPIX.com. The other candidates for governor are seizing in on this opportunity, some calling for Porter to drop out of the race, others highlighting the differences in their responses to Julie compared to Porter's, and one already released a campaign ad. When we come back, meet the protesters who rallied outside of Airbnb headquarters, why they want people to boycott the company. Plus, we'll meet some Bay Area residents who came up with a creative idea to help small businesses in their neighborhood, the impact of their work and why it's now in jeopardy.
It's all about community. It's about people coming together.
Well, in Chicago, National Guard troops are stationed in Illinois and prepared to move into the Windy City, despite strong opposition from local leaders. The governor of Illinois and Chicago's mayor sued to block troops from entering the city, and a hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. President Trump turned up the pressure, though, today. He posted on social media that both officials should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. But the governor insists he will not back down.
Look, he's a coward. He says a lot of things to the camera. He likes to pretend to be a tough guy. Come and get me.
Governor Pritzker also accused the Trump administration of targeting blue states, but Speaker Mike Johnson defended the president's orders, claiming they are popular among most Americans.
The Democrat mayor of the District of Columbia ultimately said, thank you so much for the reinforcements, and you're all enjoying the spoils of good policy and return to the rule of law. If we could do that in the other major cities in the country where they're having terrible crime crises, that should be seen as a positive, and I think most Americans see it that way.
National Guard troops are already in Los Angeles and D.C. They're expected to arrive in Memphis later on this week. Demonstrators rallied outside Airbnb's San Francisco headquarters, calling on people to boycott the home rental site. The group claims that Airbnb is partially responsible for California's housing crisis. They also claim the company does not pay its fair share of taxes, saying Airbnb should be ashamed for suing the city of San Francisco for a $120 million tax refund.
We want proper city services that are meeting the needs of San Franciscans. And we want, in these turbulent times, stability for our families and for ourselves. We cannot be wasting time and settling lawsuits like these. The city needs to hold corporations like these accountable, and so that the city can meet the needs of its own people.
An Airbnb spokesperson released this statement to us this afternoon, saying the city's budget problems are not their fault and that they will continue to, quote, continue to work closely with local leaders to work towards the post-pandemic revitalization of the city we call home. Still ahead at 5 is a creative effort to boost the local economy in the Mission District. But now that effort is at risk. We're going to hear from the people hoping to continue their support of small businesses.
Straight ahead in sports, 49ers game plan installation day for the Buccaneers. And while many of the starters on offense can't go, the Red and Gold's defense has to be rock solid. We get the latest from Santa Clara.
Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed the lovely weather over the past several days, because you probably felt the chill today, or at least you did if you lived inland, because yesterday we were in the 80s, if not low 90s, and today we're in the upper 60s, if not low 70s, across our entirety of our inland communities. Closer to the coast, in the mid to upper 60s. Either way, definitely cooler than 24 hours ago by anywhere from a degree or two to upwards of 15 to 20 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago for places like Concord, Fairfield, down to Livermore, Napa, Santa Rosa, Morgan Hill. It's all of those inland communities that were feeling really warm yesterday. But you notice the coast from Santa Cruz down to Monterey, including Half Moon Bay, and even here in San Francisco, we're actually a degree or two warmer than yesterday, because yesterday we felt the chill, and now today our inland communities are feeling the chill. But everybody is going to continue to see these cooler than normal conditions as a storm system is currently brewing just off the coast. You can kind of see it beginning to form right below my feet, and you might be confused because there is an even bigger storm system well off to our south. Its name is Priscilla. It's weakening right now. It's a tropical system, and as it moves up the coast, it is not going to be impacting us. But again, what is going to be impacting us is this swirly whirl of low pressure. It might bring a little bit of rain into early tomorrow morning, another round of rain into early Friday, and then by the weekend it will be pushing past us. So there is good news when it comes to the timing of this storm system and the amount of rain that it's going to bring. Not a whole lot. We're likely only going to be seeing trace amounts to maybe up to 1/4 of an inch, and it's just across our North Bay communities. The south and the inland parts of our Bay Area likely going to be staying dry through the end of the week. By the time that we step out into early next week, that's when our next round of rain will arrive. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, you should be good to go. Plenty of sunshine. But by Monday, that storm system is going to push even farther south and pack an even bigger punch, bringing more widespread rainfall. By Monday afternoon, we could be seeing anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to upwards of an inch of rain across the entirety of the Bay Area. Widespread rainfall is likely early next week, and that is going to be amazing to see. It's not just going to be those little sprinkles that we're expecting overnight and into tomorrow, because this is going to be our radar view likely into the early morning hours. North Bay communities and potentially closer to the coast and along the peninsula, we'll be seeing a few isolated little sprinkles, maybe 1/10 to 100th of an inch maximum, and then it's going to fizzle out by the afternoon hours. So by tomorrow afternoon, you really shouldn't have to be worrying about any of that rain. And by Friday, it actually looks like most of the rain is going to stay off to our north. So maybe an isolated sprinkle across our North Bay communities on Friday. But overall, the chance for rain is at a low. And if you do see rain, the highest totals are going to be across our North Bay communities. The farther south and the farther inland you go, the lower potential you have to see rain. And again, if you do see rain, it is going to be very light. It's going to be very spotty. It's not until late Sunday and into Monday that the more widespread activity is going to be moving across the Bay Area. And this widespread activity, again, could potentially bring upwards of 1/4 to an inch of rain, and that rain is going to be widespread across the entirety of the Bay Area. It's not just going to be the North Bay that's getting in on the action. So that's good news, again, starting next week. Through the rest of this week, a few isolated sprinkles are likely, and those temperatures are going to stay below average. Inland areas sitting in the mid-70s, closer to our coastal communities in the mid to lower 60s. But overall, those microclimates not nearly as in full of force as they have been over the past several days. So below average temperatures will stick around through the weekend, and then by early next week, not only rain is on the way, but those significantly colder temperatures, those highs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, even in our inland communities, are going to be in the 60s. So cooler and wetter weather will be arriving just in time for early next week. But honestly, Mother Nature has it timed out perfectly for us. So if you're planning on heading to San Francisco, the Bay for Fleet Week, you should be good to go. You shouldn't have to grab that umbrella until Monday starting next week. Over to you, Devin.
All right, thank you, Zoe. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to check in with residents working to rebuild a Santa Rosa neighborhood that is still reeling from the Tubbs fire 8 years later. Plus, they just won Nobel Prizes, but the mood was not entirely celebratory. We're going to hear from top UC Berkeley scientists who fear the long-term impacts of federal research cuts. And we're going to introduce you to a high school marching band in the South Bay, hoping to pull an upset at the annual Marching Band Challenge at Fleet Week. The news at 6 is coming up in about 10 minutes. Now let's head over to Vern for a look at sports.
KPIX Sports is powered by Kia. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
NFL up top in midweek at the 49ers. That's when Coach Shanahan says to his offense, fellas, these are the plays that I think will work. And defensive coordinator Robert Saleh hammers home all gas, no break. With Tampa's quarterback Baker Mayfield under center, the defense is welcoming back a key member of the secondary. Matt Lively is in Santa Clara.
It's all good vibes in Santa Clara. The 49ers are 4-1. They're in first place in the NFC West, and they've got a heavyweight battle against the Bucs this Sunday as they await the two most exciting words you can hear on CBS Sports.
Hello, friends. Jim Nantz with Tony Romo.
Jim Nantz and the CBS crew are getting an entirely different-looking Niners team than a year ago.
It's the complete opposite of how last year went, right? We found ways to lose last year early on, and this year we're finding ways to win in those one-possession games towards the end, especially on defense closing games out. I think that's been major for us.
The Bucs lean more on experience, especially from 14-year legend Levante David.
Yeah, I'm sick of him, man. Sick of him. He's a hell of a player. Always brings a big challenge, and just somebody that has always played the game the right way.
And he's one of the best to ever do it, and the longevity is incredible. He's just so good, they can't get rid of him.
The Niners are excited about getting back one of their best defenders in Malik Mustafa, who's planning on making his season debut after tearing his ACL last year in Week 18.
I mean, I didn't get surgery on my brain, so, it's the same thing. So I'm just trying to pick up where I left off. I call him he's like our human bullet out there. There's no fear, relentless player. I can't wait to have him back.
49ers fans have become enamored with their kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, who's a perfect 11 of 11 since joining the team and had the game winner against Los Angeles.
I didn't hit it the best, but I felt like it had a shot, and then once it French kissed the pole, I'm going to be taking that pole to dinner soon, so yeah.
While there's a lot to celebrate for the 49ers, they could be without Brock Purdy, Juwan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall for a second straight week as all three sat out of practice on Wednesday.
All right, Matt. Segue to college football. Giant infusion of funds for the Stanford football program reported $50 million from one of its former players. That kind of transaction makes a difference for general manager Andrew Luck. Stanford 2-3, and they're at SMU on Saturday. Baseball playoffs, why not? Hey, the Tigers were showing its claws. Game 4 against Seattle. Must win for Detroit, and they answered. Javier Baez in the 6th. Series tied at 2 games apiece. The Tigers staved off elimination, overcame a 3-0 deficit, scored 9 unanswered runs, and won 9-3. This goes to a Game 5 divisional cider on Friday. NBA, you can see the Warriors and Steph Curry tonight when they host Portland in preseason play. The first 10,000 in attendance get to take home a Steph Curry All-Star MVP bobblehead. The real Curry looks to follow up a 14-point Sunday performance in the preseason opener. Here it is, Ryan. I'm holding it up. Yep, the actual MVP bobblehead. It looks just like him, doesn't it?
Looks good.
Yeah.
That is the GOAT right there.
Yeah, he's hopefully he's not shaking his head as much as I'm shaking right now.
All right, see you, Bert. Up next, a unique effort to make sure money keeps circulating around one Bay Area community. We're going to meet the people behind the popular program.
The Bay Area Events Calendar, brought to you by Broadway San Jose.
Here's what's happening in the Bay Area this weekend. Solo artist and former frontman for the Smiths, Morrissey, is at UC Berkeley's Greek Theater. And the Italian Heritage Festival and 157th Parade brings the sights, sounds, and flavors of Italy to San Francisco's North Beach.
Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time.
Broadway's hit musical & Juliet is now playing at the San Jose Center for the Performing Arts through this Sunday. Don't miss your chance to see this hilarious twist on Shakespeare's classic as Juliet ditches her famous ending for a second chance at life and love. Tickets at BroadwaySanJose.com. The event calendar is brought to you by Broadway San Jose.
San Francisco organization facing major financial challenges after the city cut its funding. Still, Mission Loteria is working to raise money to support programs like their Shop Local initiative. It features custom stickers for each business inspired by the Mexican bingo game Loteria. Sujinam has their story.
Luis Quiros believes in the mission of bringing the community together.
¿Cómo están?
And through his organization, Mission Loteria, he helps host events like Taco Week.
We're having an event here today at El Gran Taco Loco, and we're just setting up our merch table.
Quiros is prepping for the free salsa making workshop.
Thanks for coming tonight.
But events like these are in jeopardy. Since its launch in 2019, Mission Loteria had been receiving $30,000 yearly from the city of San Francisco for its Shop Local campaign in the Mission District, which promotes local businesses.
You basically collect your stickers at different shopping locations, different restaurants, different cafes, and each business will give you a sticker with your purchase.
Due to changes in the city budget, that funding dried up this fiscal year, which prompted Quiros to start an online fundraiser to raise money for things like Loteria cards and outreach resources.
By October 15th, we'll be able to decide whether or not we can continue to move forward with the planning.
Ana Valle, the owner of Abanico Coffee Roasters, says Mission Loteria helps create visibility for local businesses like hers and hopes the city and community can pitch in to keep them going.
We all appreciate in the neighborhood just bringing more people into the area to discover all the beautiful, wonderful places that the Mission has to offer.
Offering cultural experiences like these.
It's all about community. It's about people coming together, supporting with real dollars, coming back to their community.
He says while they may need to readjust their outreach due to budget cuts, he plans to petition for more city funding in the future.
We've shown up for the community continues to show up for us, and so we're going to keep that relationship going.
In the meantime, Quiros vows to stay true to his mission of uplifting his community.